All right, good morning, good morning. It is 6:31. It is October 10th. Hope everyone's, trying to keep their minds sane in this insane world that we have here. Again, got to give more than, thoughts and prayers. You got to have some action. And, the attack on Israel, the civilized world's got to step up and friggin' make some decisions and do and help. Anyway, let's get to the markets. We came in yesterday, and a lot of people like Red Dog. What usually happens in this type of situation? I'm like, well, first you get a little bit of an emotional move, and second, you figure out how does it affect the natural resources? How does it affect the escalation? And oil was up, but it wasn't up 20%. It was up 4%. As horrible as the situation was, it wasn't like Iran was sending bombs and Russia and China were getting involved, and it was just, you can't even, there's nothing to stand on there to say, okay, well, at least, there's no at least, friggin' 700-800 innocent, unprovoked civilians were killed, and there's 100 plus still, captive. You wanna turn your cheek? Well, why don't you look around and look at all the funerals happening? 20 to 22-year-old kids, 200 plus of them, trying to just go to a music festival and live life. Well, that's a problem right now. Everyone's arguing, even in the U.S., we're arguing amongst ourselves while the enemies around you are coming in. Israel kind of was arguing amongst themselves last year. Are they a police state? Are they doing too much? Are they unsympathetic to all those, countries around them that want to, abolish them? And then all of a sudden, sneak attack. So, again, I'm not going to talk about this every day. That's not what you tune in for. You tune in for me to give you levels of the market and try and figure out how to navigate it. And yesterday, if you remember, we came in, futures are down like 35 handles. I'm like, can we hold above 42.70? And we held 42.83, and the markets rallied. We talked about the SPYs, right? We talked about, it would be very impressive for the SPYs to hold 427-ish, and then worst case scenario, they have to hold 425-ish. Otherwise, you have to take some care that the move that started on Friday with the strong jobs report that would be invalidated, it would be hard to stay long. PS, held 427, came up, and now it looks like this gap is probably the next area that the SPYs can get to. Maybe not today, but in time, and as of right now, you have 433.28, so you're up at, a point. So day 3 to the upside, if you're still long from Friday, you added on weakness yesterday, you trim some longs. Now we see if it holds above 432.88 and builds. But it doesn't mean you can just short it. At some point, maybe we test this gap, fill this gap, and then that we'll see what kind of resistance comes in there. Qs also, we talked about, would it hold 362 or 360? And yesterday it held the 367, 360-70 area. So the SPYs were stronger than the Qs for the first time in a while because energy names were stronger, some commodity names were stronger based on the fact that the horrific barbarians, attacked an unprovoked nation and killed, 700-800 plus innocent individuals. So energy rallied. So with that being said, the XLE had a big gap up. So if you're trading the XLE, the energy sector, some people felt a little guilty being long the XLE because they bought. If you remember, there's a little Red Dog reversal in energy prior to to the attack, now you have 87.41, which is right here, so maybe it goes a little sideways. Still in this huge 2-year range where you have to pretty much navigate it. All in all, though, big gap up, held the gap up, so now see if it holds there. This 89 was one spot. This 90 is a bigger spot if you are long the XLE. I would be taking some profits into that 90 area if it sees it. So where's the XLE right now? The XLE is up 11 cents, so not really leading today. Anyway, so we'll see how it goes. It is October 10th. Historically, as you get through October, seasonality-wise, it's a stronger time of year. So we'll see if that lasts. Some people like Red Dog. Could you talk about the blood in the street account real quickly? Well, you guys kind of know. I did put tier 2 to work into this area. Not 3 and 4, but tier 2 made some sense to get it involved. At least it did to me. And now here's what this is. This low here is what, 435-ish. This low is what? This was 433-ish. So I would say 433 to 435 is on the weekly chart one likely spot where maybe you see some active resistance. 433 to 435, which is right around here. So all in all, kind of held where it had to, held the trend line. If you did get long your swing account because you don't have a blood in the street account, well, congratulations again. Last time I put it to work was here. A lot of people made some good money. So that's why I put it out there, because instead of selling into weakness, usually if you have a longer term account, you could buy into weakness, and overall the bull market wins. If you trade for a living, though, it's sort of hard to do if you're not perfect, because you want to get some price discovery. I usually do it into areas for my swing account. Anyway, then you have 440, which is right here. This low is 440 basically. So this would be your next spot if it wants to get up to there in time. But anyway, let's go back to the daily chart. I tried to give you guys like a kind of pecking order of tech, which is acting the best, which is strongest, what's leading, what's playing catch up. And I showed you guys Meta, one of the best in breed Mag 7 names. Why? First of all, it cleared this 307, went to 320-ish. Chances are this is going to take out 326. Look how close this is to new highs of 2023. So you'll see how this is leading. Some of the other names aren't that that elevated, looking pretty good. Google has also been one of those names looking like it's ready to take out 39.15, stair-stepping higher. I'm in both of those. Those have been really nice situations. I know they were very choppy prior to Friday, but now they're looking better. So those two seem like they're the closest to breaking out above the 2023 highs. And then you have Microsoft and Apple, which are kind of close. They both had lower level wedges that broke out prior to Thursday. So a lot of guys made some money long Microsoft. So if you look at Microsoft and Apple, they are a little bit down the food chain, but they're starting to play some catch up. Chances are, I would think this Microsoft could work its way to 340.80. Yesterday, you could have bought a dip, broke above this lower area. What's this 329.19? That was a prior day. Apple kind of similar, broke above this lower area. These are where the 2023 highs are. So that's why I was showing you how Meta and Google are a little technically stronger. Now this is on its way to probably fill this gap into the 180 area. Buying the dip has been easier than trying to add on strength. So Microsoft and Apple seem to be, they have the biggest cash, loads. So they seem to be, similar. They're slow, but they can make you money if you're right. And then you have, what's it called? Amazon, that's lagging pretty bad, but maybe play some catch up here if you can get above what was yesterday's high, 128.79. So Amazon, out of all of them, is lagging, but sometimes the laggards play catch up. And then you have Tesla, which has been a pain in the culo, starting to get tight again. There's a lot of news that they're cutting prices. Could it be that they're, trying to get everybody just into the Tesla family so they could, you can get their software, you can get their, I'm not going to get the whole thing in, but bottom line is it's getting tight here. Hasn't been easy. I came in long Tesla yesterday, and they had to make a new low at 11:30, and it was the last to come up. And even on Friday, it was the last to come up. And usually I like when Tesla's leading, but bottom line is if you take a step back and say, hey, what does the chart look like? Can't get too bearish if it holds 250, and at some point, if you can't go down on the bad news of cutting prices and slower demand in China, chances are it's going to go up. So it's got to get above this 263.60 area. We'll see. Last week I focused on AMD with you guys, and this actually was one of my biggest winners. I had calls on. So at this point it held above this trend line here. Chances are at some point it takes it out with this 107.86 and continues. It's been acting better ever since that double top. It was caught in a downtrend and changed. Just little sideways action it can go. NVIDIA, there was some talk that, Microsoft's going to unveil a chip and cut into the cost of their CPUs and their margins, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, this still is acting really well. And although yesterday my biggest position was NVIDIA and Tesla, and they were the ones that took the longest. So it's still, on face value, it looks like, oh, the market was great. It absorbed all the news, and chances are it's still not giving money away on trees, which they never do. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it. So now you have, more points of reference, a little bit more inside action, and at some point, it probably takes out this 557.89 and continues, to the upside. I don't think the banks are worth looking at. Pepsi came out with some news. Look how battered and bruised this Pepsi's been. Jeez. Anyway, where is it this morning? Pepsi is up 363. So where could Pepsi go? And this is 165. So this would be where Pepsi would have some resistance. At least it had a little bit of bottom formation, so it gets to there. Some guys like Red Dog. What about Boeing? Boeing's trying.
Shares pumping here, Romeo India Victor November to the highs of the day.
What's that Rivian they said? So this,
$19.55.
This could see 190. This could see 192ish. This is Boeing, little pivot bottom area after a huge move. I remember I was long Boeing, and then that was my out. Actually, pretty decent out. So now we'll see what happens there. Some guys asked me about Palantir. Palantir was a really good trade yesterday. I haven't been in some of these second and third tier names in a while, but it was getting very tight. It broke out on Friday. So yesterday when it was red, people like Red Dog from the Alpha team, take a look at Palantir. I bought it fast and went green. It had a push. I was able to buy some back, and lo and behold, it's having a nice move. This was a great move, and now it's kind of reborn. So we got to look for setups. This was a good setup. They do a little government analytical work too, and at this point we could use some of that, right? What else? CRWD, holy cow. I listed this last week to clear 167. POW, that's pretty healthy. Healthy markets need breakouts. This ZS also, look at that. Listed it right here. Some guys made some good money. I usually don't trade this sector, but my job as a chief strategic officer is to come up with 30 to 40 different types of ideas, post it on the Alpha team, put it in Weather All Access. And with the public Twitter, I usually just put a chart of the SPYs, the SPX, the Qs, and sometimes, a few different of the mag names. So if you're looking for more, a lot of people come to, be a member of the community full-time versus, tuning in here and there. But you can do what you want. This is your life. This is your situation. There's a lot of resources out there. I would just suggest you use them. A lot of great people out there on Twitter, which I still call it Twitter. I don't call it X. It's just there. Anyway, with that being said, let's just hope that every minute counts. There's 100 to 130, I feel like, hostages. Their lives are on, every minute matters with people arguing. Like, I can't believe, we don't even have a Speaker of the House in Washington to approve some kind of legislation to send either more troops, more money, or whatever there. It's embarrassment, Anyway, at this point, you can just control what you can control. Control, how you educate your kids on what's happening. So we always said never again. Well, never again is now, on a lot of different fronts. And just try and keep your head straight, your routine strong, so you can execute with confidence and be good for all of everyone around you. And if people need help, it's not so bad to lend a bit of a helping hand. That's how communities grow stronger and better. And then all of a sudden, it could expand, right? You started here and it goes like that. You can't reach all the way out there. It just doesn't, you can't do it. All right, I'm going to go do my work, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And sorry for babbling a little bit, but there's a lot to babble about. But I've been cursing. I could be cursing right now, which I'm not. Later, guys.